Hello. So today I want to speak about how to handle objection effectively. If you've been in networking for any length of time, you've probably dealt with your fair share of rejection and objection. And if you continue in networking, chances are you will have to deal with a lot more of it. So I think you'll agree with me when I say that it's worthwhile knowing how to deal with an objection effectively. And in fact, you can deal with objections in such a way that the person who objects becomes an eager supporter of your business. And this is what I want to cover. But before I get started, if I'm new to you, my name is Jo Edgecombe. I am an online marketer, and my mission is to help networking moms to leverage the power of social media to develop high quality leads online, to automate their business building, and to develop influence within their network. And part of that is going to be dealing with objections. So we need to know how to do it effectively, and that's what I want to speak about. This is actually a simple process, and there are 4 easy steps. Trust me, they are easy. That will take you from objection to acceptance and even enthusiasm if it's done well. So let's just get straight into it. The first step is to listen. I know it might seem obvious, but the fact of the matter is when we get an objection, our minds go into overdrive and we stop listening. We start thinking defeating thoughts like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this person was a waste of time. Or in other cases, maybe the objection is a common one. And instead of hearing your contact's version of the objection, we immediately start thinking of how to respond. Or sometimes we even take it one step further and we cut them off altogether and actually start to respond. I've done it, but this is a big no-no. This is not going to help you at all. Listening effectively is a skill, and it is incredibly important because the prospect is telling you exactly what you need to do in order to move forward. And if we listen to them with the intention of understanding them, then we can use the words that they are using in order to overcome their objection. And I need to say this because even though we're listening to them with the intention of understanding and being able to use the words that they are using, this is not a manipulation game. This is not a practice to use some silver tongue technique to whip them into doing what you want them to do. If you can truly help someone, then it's your duty to do so. And if they're putting up objections, it's probably because you haven't shown them the full value of what you have to offer. And so listening so that you can understand where the gaps are is vital. So before you start thinking of how to respond, just pay attention to what they're saying. And once you've listened, then you can move on to step 2 of dealing with objections, and that is to demonstrate your understanding. Again, this might seem really obvious, but there is some nuance to understanding that you might not be consciously aware of. So this second step of understanding has a twofold purpose. When you demonstrate your understanding, you show your prospect that you have heard them. And something magical happens when someone feels heard. They can suddenly relax because they've gotten all of their concerns off their chest. So that's the first part of why you want to really listen. And the second purpose of this step, why you want to understand, but the second purpose is to truly make sure that you do understand what their objection is. You might think you understand, And you might assume you understand, but we all know what we do when we assume. So it doesn't hurt to make sure. And in order to demonstrate your understanding, you have to actually ask questions. So ask your prospect about what they've said. And when you do, because you've listened, you can actually use the phrasings that they used when they were describing the objection. And listen, a top tip here is to ask your prospect for permission to ask them the questions. You could phrase it like, do you mind if I take a moment to make sure that I understand what you've said? And I'm telling you, this is like a ninja move, because it shows them courtesy, firstly, and secondly, it shows them that you genuinely want to make sure that you get where they're coming from. And listen, if you're treating people that well, they want to do business with you, whether it's right now or in the future. So listen to them. That was number one. And understand and demonstrate your understanding by asking them the questions. Right? Okay, so now you fully understand the objection, you've asked your questions, you've understood, you've done all the things that you need to do, and you move into step 3, which is now to respond. Now you get to speak. And the best approach is to respond with the most prominent objection first. You might even find that once you've answered their main objection, that the other sub-objections just kind of disappear. They just kind of fall away because you've answered the main worry on their mind. But do your best to answer the objection fully and in real time. Now, of course, if there's something that you don't know, then you might need to return to it with them at a later time. But as much as possible, do it there and then. Answer it there and then. And 2 important things to remember with your response is to firstly keep it short, because rambling on and on in your response creates a sense of distrust and force, like you're forcing them in a direction instead of trying to help them. And all you're trying to do is help them. And that's not being manipulative. If you know that what you have can help, then you really must try to help them. And the second thing when you're responding is to not wing it. And this goes right in line with helping them. Don't pretend to know what you don't know. It doesn't help. And here's the thing. If you wing it, and let's say you're really good, you have a silver tongue, and you somehow get the sale, but the sale was actually wrong for the prospect. Ultimately, you lose your prospect, and you lose any referrals that they might have given you in the future. So don't bother with winging it. If you don't know, put your hands up so you don't know, so you'll get back to them, and then get back to them. That's the best way to deal with it. But assuming you've responded and you've done it eloquently, it's time to confirm, and that is the 4th step. So the 4th step of responding to an objection is to confirm that they are satisfied, that you have satisfied all of their concerns. Sometimes we kind of think we've done a good job because they're like bobbing along to everything you're saying. The prospect's nodding along and maybe smiling. But that nodding doesn't mean they understand what you're saying or that they even agree with it. Asking them if you've satisfied their concern, here's what it does. It prompts them to confirm it. And that's great, because that allows you to then move forward with the conversation and hopefully complete whatever the favorable outcome of this meeting is. But actually, just before I move on, understand that handling the objection with these 4 steps might be a repeating process. So you've listened, you've understood to the best of your ability, you've responded, and you've confirmed. Let's say now, when you hit that 4th confirmation step, you got something a little off. You might have to go back around again, listen to what you got wrong, make sure you understand it, make your respond, and confirm again. And you know, if you have to do that a couple of times, fine. But the other out that I want to give you is, if you feel like they are just now objecting for the sake of objecting, that means they're saying this isn't for me, and you can take it away from them. Say, you know what, maybe this really isn't the right option for you, so we could leave it here and maybe pick it up in a few months' time, or whatever it is you want to give them, whatever time frame you want to give, because it's good to give a time frame to leave the door open. And even if you have no intention of following up with them, certainly not immediately, just leave it open, but take it from them. You take back your time and you give them their space. Everyone's happy. And sometimes what you'll find is when you try to take it from them, suddenly they go, oh, no, I wasn't trying to, not have it. I just want to make sure. And they'll give you some excuse. But either way, it's a really courteous way to part ways if you think that it's just not getting anywhere. And there you have it. That's 4 simple steps to effectively deal with any objection, really. Listen, understand, respond, confirm. Dealing with objections used to make my stomach churn. I didn't like it at all. And this is the reason I actually pursued attraction marketing. If I'm going to be really frank, I was running away from objection and rejection. And that's when I came across attraction marketing. But the truth is that attraction marketing has been the most effective approach to building my business. And I only wish that I found it sooner. You see, with the attraction marketing approach, it's not that there isn't objection. It's that the objection is handled automatically within your attraction marketing system. So questions are answered before the contact gets in touch with you. I mean, how much would you like it if before anyone even called you, they already knew what they were about, what you were about. They already were knowledgeable about what it is you have to offer and how it solves their problem. And the most they need from you is perhaps some final validation or clarification to move forward in whichever direction. How awesome would it be if you got people reaching out to you daily like that? They've seen you, they know what you're about, they just need to ask you a couple of questions, things that maybe they're not too sure about. And that's why I ran into the arms of attraction marketing. So that hard work of, discipline your disappointment, or, picking yourself up after each rejection, or for me, developing, skin as thick as a rhino, all of that kind of got removed. And even though I am actually very grateful that I've had the experience of disciplining my disappointment, and I have learned the lessons of persistence and consistency and really sticking to something, but it would be a big old fat lie if I said that I want to return to dealing with that on a daily basis. The way I build my business now, instead of me chasing, after everyone, my time is spent a lot more effectively compared to when I practiced more traditional methods. So either way, whichever way you choose to build your business, and it doesn't have to be an either or selection. Maybe you want to use some traditional methods as well as some attraction marketing methods, and that's totally your call. But if you would like to learn more about attraction marketing and that approach, then that's what I'm here to help you with. I'd love to help you with it. So as always, I invite you to get in touch, to learn more, even if it's just to have a chat. Maybe you just want to understand what it is and how it works a bit more. That's what I'm here for. So that's all I wanted to share today, and I want you to have a good day. But until we speak, please take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.